evening, Pat.
Good evening, Sam. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm coming to you live from a hotel, so hopefully my internet's strong.
It looks good
It's,
now. It looks good now.
yeah, in the top corner, I see a little Wi-Fi symbol. It's only got one of the three bars, so hopefully it's
Okay,
strong.
that
But
means you're number one.
I think so. Um, but yeah, so Basho's over.
Indeed,
No,
it has ended.
it has, and so has Sumo in Dolphin Stadium. That was the last
Oh,
Basho in there.
I know. It's. I'm about to speak all nostalgic like I've been there, but oh man, it was a wonderful place.
Well, we've been to Nagoya.
I have
We
been to Nagoya. I have
Yeah,
been to Nagoya. That's true. That's true.
we
But
do like Nagoya.
we do like Nagoya is a great city, no
Yeah.
matter what anyone else on the internet says.
Hmm.
Um, I will miss the everyone fanning themselves profusely the entire time
Hmm.
because it looks
Yeah,
so damn hot.
and it was hot. Yeah,
It was
it was a
hot.
hot one in Japan for this one. So yeah.
It's been like brutal there, the weather this
Hmm.
month, and you could just tell everyone was kind of suffering a little bit. But so I'll miss
Yeah,
watching everyone suffer. But
yeah, no, definitely. And speaking of people suffering, when I was in England, I was just like trying to get the feel on for sumo. So
yeah, the
I
word on the street.
went to my friend's wedding, and they sat me next to like this gorgeous girl, and she was
Mhm.
asking me like where I'm from, all these things, and I was just like, well, you're watching Nagoya, right? And she's like, oh no, like, what do you, what? And I was like, she's trying to play it cool, obviously, like,
Yeah,
she's watching it. So I was like, well, I'm hoping to show you can go all the way. And she was like, what does that mean? I was like, oh, someone's a Yama fan. So it was just, like,
that's a classic
yeah,
Gonoyama fan right
yeah,
there. I tell you
yeah.
what,
So
yeah, I've seen that before.
I was like, all right, whatever. So
You asked to be moved to have your seat moved, I assume.
I didn't ask. I just left. I just went to another. I went to another seat. So yeah,
Yeah, good call.
yeah. Like it was fun to watch it over there. Since I could watch some of it live
Right,
because the time difference. So
right, not as bad.
yeah, so it's not like I was waking up at 5 a.m. and everything was done. I saw like a few fights live, which was cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
a
so
rarity for us.
yeah, very rare. So yeah, and I feel like we kind of gotta. Well, I have to at least kind of eat my own words a little bit because I remember it was like, oh, Terunofuji's gonna run away with this one, and like, it's not gonna be like obviously exciting. He's winning his
Right.
His 10th U show, but you know, I said, oh, it's already decided, and it went to a playoff, so obviously it wasn't.
This is true. This is true. You spoke. So you spoke. You this time you get the clip playback of humiliation.
Well, maybe we'll see if there's
Um,
time. I don't know if I've got time for that.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what a finish. Obviously, we already talked about my complete humiliation of saying that
Hmm.
he'll never win again. He did, and not only did he win again, he won very decisively. A
Hmm.
12-3 victory. However, um, he was challenged
He was,
from
and before
a.
I'll
Oh,
say real quick before we get into it, got ahead of ourselves again. We
oh
have a
yeah.
habit of doing this.
Mm.
We have our beverages.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I'm out here and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go try to find a Japanese beer. So I looked up like an Asian supermarket. It was not what I thought. I thought it was gonna be like a big H Mart. It was like a very tiny market that was all like very, very niche specific food ingredients, a lot of which I did not like. I couldn't comprehend what they were. No beer. So
Good.
then I went
Okay.
to like
Great.
a supermarket, and the supermarkets out here, it's all for like the beach crowd.
Sure.
So it was all just like beachy beers. And then the only thing I saw out of like the three places I went was like the big boy Sapporo. So
Hey, you know what? It works. It works.
it does. So I didn't want a big boy. I wanted like just a nice six pack, but I'm gonna have to finish this boy. So good
Sometimes you have
thing.
to take one for the team.
Yeah.
My story is not nearly as exciting. I actually went to the Japanese supermarket recently also. Um like I went like almost a week ago. And I picked up these like just some and again they didn't have beer either, so I had a very similar experience. And so they had like some non-alcoholic drinks, obviously like normal drinks. So I got this like lemon, like
Ooh.
super lemon drink.
Okay.
But then myself and my wife both got COVID, so I drank the lemon drink because I needed vitamin C in my life. So,
Oh.
long story short, I haven't been outside in a couple days, and I don't have a Japanese drink. So today, and instead, I'll be drinking a athletic
Oh. Okay.
IPA.
Well,
Unfortunately, so
that is
not
very.
next time. I will probably. I promise you, I will make up for it. I
Well,
promise.
you pulled one over on me.
I did. I got you good. I
Well.
made the effort. I actually went and got something, but then I
Hmm.
panicked and drank it. So.
Well. Oh, I'm panicking. I have to drink this. Well,
I needed to save both of our lives.
well, I
I
think
had to
this.
drink
I think
this.
this is big enough for both of us, so to speak. So,
Yeah, that's
cheers.
fair.
Kampai.
Come by. So before I was so rudely interrupted, I was about to say
Hmm.
that there was a challenger arose
There was.
from the field, and I tell you what, if you would have asked me who that challenger was going to be going into day one, I probably would have said Hoshoru,
Kozuzakura.
Kotozakura, maybe a
Yeah.
wild card where Takakeisho comes back and does something crazy. I
Well,
probably could have come up with a bunch of things.
wild card
But
was Takanosho. So
indeed, yeah, absolutely, Takanosho, and yeah,
yeah,
so like, yeah, so this was the wild card, Takanosho, unbelievable.
yeah, no, totally agree. And yeah, Takanosho has been at uh, high heights before.
Yeah,
If that's the right way to say it.
sure, I think that's the correct term.
His highest rank was he's been Sanyaku.
Oh,
Um,
okay,
yeah, his highest rank was Sekiwaki. So
okay.
he's been up before. It's just been a few years. He's 30. He's 29. He'll be 30 in November. So he's kind of at that age where sumo wrestlers usually peak or have
Hmm.
peaked. So, when I saw he was doing well. It's like, we'll see how he does when he gets to the top ranks. And then he was going up against Teruno Fuji, and I was like, oh well, obviously Teruno Fuji's been dominating.
Yeah,
But then, I saw the stat, and he was only 6-7 against Teruno Fuji.
yeah.
So I was like, oh dang, maybe he's just his a little bit of his
So you're
kryptonite.
saying there's a chance.
Yeah, and there was, and it was a good bout.
It's funny these matchups sometimes because it's like we see this sometimes. I believe there's a couple other ones. I'm gonna misquote this, but there's one with Hoshoru where it's like Hoshoru and like Midori Fuji, I think, have like a weird like 50
Hmm.
50 split in their record. You see a lot of like you see this randomly with some guys where it's just like one random wrestler like just knows how to defeat one other wrestler, and it's
Hmm.
like funny, like even if it's like a super powerful guy like Hoshoru or Fuji, like they tend to have like one kryptonite, like one
Hmm.
Achilles heel guy that just like for whatever reason like might have a terrible record but will just beat them because they've unlocked something, they've studied something that
It's
no one else has studied.
yeah, whatever, or there's just like their style, their body just matches up
Yeah,
well to it. It's kind of like 1 in 100 type thing that works out. But yes.
exactly.
So Teruno Fuji now, yeah, went to the playoff, which was awesome because yeah, yeah, they both finished 12-3.
Yep.
Went to the playoff, and then 10th Yusho. So the title Dai Yokozuna, which I guess is people are saying is people say, oh, he's officially a Dai Yokozuna, but there actually is no official definition for Dai Yokozuna. It just means great Yokozuna, and kind of what's
Mm,
happened over time is 10 Yushos means this kind of just double digit win, you're great Yokozuna. So big congratulations to him earning that.
yeah.
And in an interview, the post Basho interview, he said like, "Oh, I've done all I set out to do," but he still wants to do more, keep competing. And then I read an interview with his strength and conditioning coach, who was going over kind of how he's been recovering and able to stay up in the to come out and compete. And he's saying, "Oh, he's still insanely strong. He's squatting almost 900 pounds. He's bench pressing like 600, around 600 pounds. But they're saying, oh, but they do that very rarely. They keep the stress off like the hips and knees.
Right.
and so they're just like very smart about their training. But maybe he learned a little. What was it from Shodai? You said his secret is horse meat. Maybe he got into the. He's Mongolian. They eat horse, so
It's true.
it could
It
be
could
that.
be. That could be. Yeah, it's very, very, very possible.
I did when I went to Mongolia. I did eat horse, and I did feel some urge of strength come up in me. Like I was ready to go throw down.
It
So
was
I
welling up. It was welling up in
yeah.
you.
So I that's exactly it. I felt like a yokozuna in that moment. Basically, is what I'm
Right.
calling it.
You
Is what I'm
basically
getting at.
were.
Yeah. No, you're right. I had really bad stomach problems for the next few days, but that's we don't need to go into that.
Well, yeah, it'll mess your
But
stomach up, but
yeah.
it's worth it in the end.
Anyway, I'm going on an unnecessary tangent here, but
That's neither here nor there.
yeah, it's neither here nor there. So big ups to Takanosho. It was a tough call. If I wanted to see Teruno Fuji win 10, but
Yeah.
Takanosho's never won a champion, like won any tournament, not even like Juryo or anything. So I was like, it would have been
Yeah.
so cool to see him get that win. So I'm a little disappointed that we didn't see that.
Yeah, same. I have to admit I was kind of pulling for him. I mean, I just love a good upset, and also just the last
Mm-hmm.
match was so dramatic. The way that Tenor Fuji lost, and then Kota Sakura beat him, and
Mm-hmm.
then
Finally,
Takanosho won, and so it was like a really dramatic series of events that led up to the playoffs. So I was really hoping that in the end he would kind of pull it, but I think he proved it. He's obviously
yeah.
gonna go. He's gonna go up in rank now too. So I think it'll be interesting, kind of, to see, like, hey, was this a fluke? Like, was this kind of like just he got all the stars aligned that made him
Mm-hmm.
here, or is Takanosho like gonna rank up? Is he gonna use this opportunity to like step up his training and like come back and maybe make another run at it? I think that'll be really interesting to see someone kind of like
Yeah.
new that's up in the upper areas
I
now. I
mean,
mean, we'll see.
I would love to see that. My pessimist in me is saying no because how many? It seems like every other Basho we have someone
It's true.
who comes up and challenges for it. Last year uh, it was what's his name? Last year it was Hokuto Fuji
Yep.
and Atami Fuji, and kind of now neither one of them has come close to what they were at. Uh, so yeah, and even last Basho with Onosato winning. I mean, he went 9-6. Not like he's falling off the
Yeah,
deep
yeah.
end.
He still
He's
did
still
great.
he's still winning. He's Sekiwake doing a great job there. But I don't know. I kind of think it's more likely that Takanosha does not challenge for the Yusho next time.
Well, we will
Yeah.
either play this clip to embarrass you or
Yeah.
not. We shall see.
Well, I mean, I'm not as confident as I was in my last episode, nor as confident as you were in our
But
preview
yeah, I
episode.
don't I don't
But
think I'll ever be that confident again.
yeah, and then I will say that I did not see this coming. I did not think Wakataka Kage was going to finish third at 11
Woo,
and 4.
Evie. I mean, I would say I also didn't see it coming. I had a feeling he was going to do well for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was pretty convinced he was definitely going to get a winning record, just because of his strength and his style and everything. But I also did not see him like literally almost winning the whole thing. Like, I mean, he was right in the contention until the end,
Mm-hmm.
which is wild. So I'm just excited to have him back. And I think it's going to be really cool to see kind of what he does next. On the flip side, um, I think seeing Wakamoto Haru just not do well
Yeah.
was kind of painful for me. I gotta admit, I don't know why, but that one just kind of hurt me a little bit. Seeing
Mm-hmm.
him not be able to convert like he used to, and
Yeah.
see him slide down the rank. So I
Tough
think
Basho
it's
form.
interesting. We got the two brothers back in it now, so I'll be curious to see if like how that continues in the future, if the one kind of goes up and the other one keeps going down, or how that's going to go. So
Yeah. I see you, or I see what you're saying. And then we had a number of 5 wrestlers finish 10-5. Koto Zakura leading the pack here, doing me as well. Um, so now there's only going to be 2 Ozeki, Koto Zakura and Hoshoyu, who unfortunately, um, bowed out the last couple days with a hip injury.
yes, yeah. I mean, we'll see about that. I feel like he's so relatively young and in shape and like fit that like he'll probably bounce back from it relatively quickly, hopefully.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like it was like a devastating injury. Like we didn't even really notice it until we watched it the next day on the
Hmm.
replay when they were talking about it. So like it wasn't like he was carted out or anything. So I think he will probably. I'm optimistic he'll
Yeah.
come back in the
Yeah.
next one.
Could have just had a little stinger and then said, you know what, he already had the winning record and he was out of contention really at that point. 9-4, so
Yeah,
probably not going to win it. Just like, hey, take a few days off and just don't
yeah.
risk it.
I think that was
Um,
wise.
but yeah, it's still. I don't want to keep repeating ourselves of like which Ozeki's going to step up. We're kind of running out of Ozeki to step up here.
And we officially the list has gotten quite small.
Yeah.
Yeah, we keep saying I think we both. I mean, I would like to see either of them step up, but I guess we'll just have to wait. I kind of lean towards Kota Sakura. I think he's been more consistently finishing near the top.
Hmm.
He's avoided major injuries for a really long time. That's my vote, but Hoshodu could come back in and blow us out of the water. Who knows?
Yeah. Then the other Ozeki, I mean, Takakeisho 5-10. He was Kadoban, so he's out of the ranks
He's done, son.
unless he gets 10 wins next Basha, which I really don't see happening.
I I would be floored if he comes back with that
Hmm.
genuinely because the Tenoro Fuji thing, like, yeah, I said he wasn't going to come back, but like when he's on. But like Taka Keisho hasn't been on in so long. Like Tenoro Fuji, it's like all or
No.
nothing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like either he stays in and he wins, or he bows out like immediately.
Yeah.
Whereas like Taka Keisho, I feel like has done so many of these like half. I mean, he stayed in the whole Basho, so I guess I can't really
Yeah.
complain. But I don't see him coming back to Ozeki anytime soon. But
No.
who knows?
We certainly don't know. We
No,
just we just speculate.
yeah, that's accurate.
Um, Ono finishing 9-6. I think a lot of people had favored him to win just because of how well he
Yeah,
done last boss show, and then no one else really stepping up. And I kind of feel like even though Ono finished 9-6, outside of Takanosho shooting up, and obviously Terunofuji dominating, like no one else really stepped up this boss show. No one, like I should say Wakataka Kage really surprised me going into
yeah,
it. I
right,
already
right,
said
right,
that.
right.
But outside of that, I felt like no one else, at least for like the last week, no one else was like really challenging. And kind of that's why we were like, oh, it's not like a super exciting
Yeah,
last 5 days, which it turned
kind
out
of
to be
agree.
exciting. But
Yep.
yeah, we didn't really see anyone else really kind of what we've been saying for like the last year is like, hey, the Yokozuna is injured out. Who's going to take over the mantle? And it's kind of just been this merry-go-round of other guys kind of winning one and be like, oh, is he now gonna? Is he taking?
Yeah,
Is he gonna step up now? And they don't.
yeah. There hasn't really been like a consistent someone who's like. It's been like a different winner every single
Hmm.
time for what the last year almost. I feel like.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see who finally is able to kind of break the cycle and like maybe win two in a row or something.
And then Asano Yama 3, 2, and 10 left tore ligament in his left knee, so that is like he's getting surgery.
Yeah,
He is out like a Wakataka Kage length recovery. So like we're looking at least a year.
it's
Wakataka
a real
Kage
shame.
went out last March. So
Yeah,
and he came back earlier than I think people thought he would come back. So um, yeah, it's a long recovery process for him.
yeah. You hate to see that, and especially when you had him in your fantasy pick. So, not to
Oh,
sound selfish,
oh,
but
I forgot I picked him. So
I
great,
think I picked
good.
him, didn't I?
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay, all right, all right.
I think we texted about it as soon as it happened. We haven't spoken about this guy yet, but he
Mm.
had what I think everyone considers to be probably the most entertaining fight this boss show, Uda. When he
Mm.
when he went up against Teruno Fuji and he just kind of was like throwing every trick out of the book at him, like, oh, I'm coming at you this way now. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that. And Teruno Fuji was kind of chasing him around before just kind of dumping him out. But
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, didn't have the greatest run, unfortunately, 6 and
Hmm.
9, but still held in there. And like you said, I just had some really. He's always entertaining, and that's why I just can't. Like, I can't quit him. I can't walk away from him because he just always surprises me with something. I feel
Yeah.
like he's like so close. Like he does this thing often when he starts, he kind of like goes in low,
Hmm.
and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And it's like, to me, it's like it look almost like it's like 50-50. Like sometimes he just like falls flat on his face immediately, or
Hmm.
he gets under the person and pushes him out. So it's, I don't know. It's a really interesting technique that I would love to like learn more about, why he does that and why he's so different than everyone else. But
Hmm.
it always makes for an interesting fight.
Oh, for sure. I agree. He's. I mean, there's a reason he's a fan favorite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, anyone else here in Maegashira you want to discuss?
The only person I wanted to bring up briefly is I've really become a big fan of Hakoto Fuji. Excuse
Hakuto
me.
Fuji. Yeah.
Yeah, Hakoto Fuji, and
Hmm.
he just I like, I love his spirit. Like, it sounds cheesy,
Yeah.
but he just
No.
like, he gets himself so juiced up before each fight,
Hmm.
and like, he's had ups and downs and injuries, and he's kind of here and there, but like, he had some awesome fights this past show. Like, he did a really good one versus Nishiki Fuji on day 6, actually.
Hmm.
Um, he's had some really good ones, and he's just one of those guys that I just would love to see like not drop out into the lower ranks. Like, he's
Yeah.
getting lower down now. I just don't want to see him do that, because I just always like, another one that I just always get excited about and look for, because he just has that spirit. He
Yeah.
gets
It'll
he
be.
gets my spirit award of
Yeah.
the Basho
Yeah. He's another fan
tournament.
favorite. And he. Yeah. He'll probably like M15 next Basho. So hopefully he stays up. I mean, he should.
If
But
I could hand him like a bunch of arrows, like, I would, he
well, you can. I guess maybe you can start sponsoring your own special prize.
I could.
The
Yeah, I
the
was thinking about it.
the
Yeah.
Patrick Special Spirit Prize of arrows.
I'm sure they'd let me in. Yeah, for sure.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah. Why not?
I think there's probably
But
good reasons why not.
the...
Um, just a few Jurio notes.
Oh yeah.
Shirokuma won, yeah, J8, 12 and 3. So young, 25-year-old from the Nishinoseki stable. So he's from quite a successful uh, Baya. Some other folks in there. Onosato's in there. So he's around some other good fighters. But yeah, so he was J8. So I don't know if he'll actually make it up to Maegashira.
Right.
That'd be nice. Someone coming up to Maegashira, Onokatsu, who is a 24-year-old Mongolian. Um, and
Mm.
he's been doing very well. Made his professional debut in November, so he's only done 5 bashos, but he went 5-2 in Makushita, then 6-1 Makushita, and 5-2, then 13-2 last basho Jurio, and then 9-6 this basho. So did very well, and he will another young blood coming up, seeing what'll happen.
And his
Strong
name is
guy.
Katsu, so
Yeah, I was
we're gonna be rooting for
I was
him when
gonna
he comes
say
to this
he's got to
one.
be he's definitely got to be one of our favorites
I'm gonna
because of how
put
much
all my
Katsu.
eggs in the Katsu basket.
Yeah, we put all of our breaded pork in the Katsu Onokatsu basket.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, so he's see how he does. He did his so he came in. He was one of the last, I think, the last guys to start professionally at Makushita 15. So I learned a little bit about this that before, if you had a successful amateur sumo career, for example, folks who had gone to universities like Onosatu, Gonoyama, and they did well, they could start in Makushita as
Hmm.
opposed to going into a stable and then starting all the way down, in like the seventh divisions and working their way up through Sandanme and whatnot.
Interesting.
But they're deciding to do away with that because, in true Japanese spirit, they're saying no, everyone has to go through the same struggles and work through, uh, you know, fight their way up. Essentially, everyone has to go through the
Of
same
course.
hazing.
Yeah, of
because
course. That's
otherwise
very
you've got
Japanese.
these guys who join a stable and then within two bashos they can move out because they've made it to Juryo.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I kind of see both sides of it, but I think it's pretty fair to I don't know, because if you start having a special rule, then eventually it'll just like people will just be training and preparing just as they can beat the special rule, and then it's kind of like, what's the point of it even then?
Well,
So
it's a very select rule, only for like former champions who, like I said, like went to university or
right,
came from somewhere else.
yeah,
Um, so
interesting,
it's not like they've been in the stable since they were 17, because then if
right,
they do, then they may not even be able to work up to Jurio and sit for like 4 years, 3 or 4 years or something.
right. That makes sense. Yeah,
So it's I could see both. I could see both sides, but yeah.
yeah,
What do we know? We're just a
not
couple
much.
gaijin
Yeah,
talking throwing. So I don't know. I was trying to do alliteration. Um, last Jurio Rikishi I want to talk about. Shishi, the Ukrainian, uh, did quite well. He was in contention for most of the Basho and then lost three of his last six, but still finished 11-4. So unfortunately, won't be going up to Magashira, but still finished pretty well.
yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing him fight more too. I think he's a really interesting one on the rise too.
Yeah, he did really well this Bosch. It seemed like before he just kind of teeter tottered around and didn't seem to have like his. I don't be like, oh, he seemed unbalanced, but
Yeah,
he didn't really seem to have it together. But this Basho, if you go watch his fights, he had a lot more second and third. Whereas normally maybe he would have been thrown or pushed out, he found a way to really fight back. And on the last day, uh, his bout against Hakuoho, if you haven't watched it, I think I texted it to you.
yeah, you did.
And it was like, it looked like Shishi was, I mean, he was on top of Hakuoho. They were falling out together. Hakuoho should have been going down, but just showing insane strength that these guys have. Hakuoho managed to like pull him over him as he's falling, and Shishi touched the ground first. Just like absolute incredible strength athleticism. If anyone hasn't gone and watched it yet, Dave, let me just make sure it was. I'm pretty positive it was. Yeah, day 15. Shishi
Yeah,
Hakuoho, just insane, just like insane strength. So yeah,
that's awesome.
and then let me just double check. Hakuoho finished at. Yep, if it'll load. Yeah, Hakuo finished 11-4 at J13 as well, so he's still in Jurio, but he finished well. So yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, and then let's check our. Unless there's anything you want to talk about, we could check
No,
our.
I want to get the results. I have a pretty bad feeling about it, but let's
Well,
see. Let's see.
let's see. Who did we pick? Okay.
I really need a W.
Oh,
Like it's been a long time,
well,
and I really need one.
I have bad
Yeah,
news, Pat.
I know. It's not looking good.
You picked. You're the one who picked
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay, let's see. Oh, all right. So I've got. How did I? We changed our scoring this time around.
Did we? I thought we said we were going to change it next time, but I can't remember.
No, we fixed it. We changed it. Okay,
Did
so
we? Okay.
do you have the scores in front of you, right?
I do.
Okay, so I had Onosato. What did he
Ono
finish?
Sato finished with 9-6.
Okay, so +1. So
That's
the way
plus
we're
one.
doing it, 8 plus wins is 1 point, 10 plus wins is 2 points, 12 wins is 3 points, winner is
Okay.
4.
Okay.
Atami Fuji, I think he finished with a
Tommy
losing
Fuji
record.
7-8.
So close. Wakataka
Mm-hmm.
Kage, 11-4.
Kage 11-4. Yeah.
And then Hoshoyu was 9-4-2. So
Yep.
one. So I finished with 4 points there.
Okay.
All right.
Strong.
Well, you have a pretty strong start here. You have Kotozakura.
Oh, yeah. 10-5.
Okay, so 2 points. Ura,
Six and
yeah,
nine.
6-9.
Not great. Not great.
Asanoyama, 3-2-10 or
Yeah,
something.
that one burns. That
And
one
then
burns.
someone we haven't spoke about yet, so I don't know if that's good or bad. Abi.
Oh, I forgot about Avi.
Yeah, you did.
I totally forgot that I picked him. Avi finished with 8-7.
Okay. Oh, so this was a
So
close one, but
it was at least closer for me, but
yeah,
not
but
close enough.
4-3 to Sam.
Damn.
So,
One of these days, I'll get you. I'm gonna break this streak someday.
okay. Well, I think I'm. You're starting to sound a bit like a robot on my end, so maybe that's time to
Oh,
call it.
oh, yeah. You got a little frozen, but I can see it. You're back now.
Okay. Well, for our viewers, the important thing is that I won and Pat lost. So,
Yeah, that's true.
all right, man. Well, unless you have anything else, I think that's it's time to call it.
I am very much looking forward to the next one, and we'll see you guys soon.
All righty. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Later.